Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam, because he reportedly is upset that fans aren't 100% locked in on this team right now. And let's be real, a big part of that is because of Shedeur Sanders. He isn't playing. Now, local journalists are even out here claiming that ticket sales are down, that seats are looking empty right now. I don't know if that's 100% true, because I'm gonna be fair to you guys. The Cleveland Browns, that is, loyal and local supporters have been supporting, and I'm gonna get back.
Picture this: Shedeur Sanders finally gets his shot, but billionaire genius Jimmy Haslam decides to play coach and benches him. Big mistake. Because right when Jimmy thought he was pulling the strings, Karma walked in wearing cleats and delivered the hardest hit of the season. You won't believe how fast the tables turned. Let's just say Shedeur didn't even have to throw a pass for the scoreboard to light up. Stick around, this instant karma moment is pure gold.
Him to be the security blanket, which is what you brought him there for to begin with. You didn't bring him there to lead the Browns. You brought him to be a security blanket in the event that you couldn't find somebody else who could do it. That's why people in Cleveland were looking at it last year. Why the hell isn't he here last year? What the hell you let him get out the door for before you ultimately brought him back after the season he had a couple of years ago? But I do think it's important to bring this one nugget up. I'm looking at the average time to throw for a quarterback last year in the National Football League. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like at 2.42 to 3.14 seconds, if I remember correctly, based on what I read.
Sure.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. Picture the scene: Jimmy Haslam benches Shedeur Sanders like it's just another business decision, like moving some decimal points in his oil empire. Only problem? The football universe doesn't work like spreadsheets. While Haslam was busy patting himself on the back, the rest of the NFL was licking its lips, staring at Shedeur like he was the last slice of pizza at a frat party.
I hate that they took him out. To me, that was so stupid. Well, I don't care that Snoop Huntley can come in and go 1 of 1 for 7 yards in a 2-minute drill. He's not going to be on a team tomorrow. Why would you not let Shedeur have the 2-minute drill and see if he can do it? Can he shake off? We just talked about how he had poor body language. He looked defeated. Can he shake it off in the moment? Hey, I've had a bad half, but we still, as bad as I've played, we have a chance to go out and win this football game. Can I go out and orchestrate a 2-minute drive to get us into field goal range to win this football game? And instead, you put in the guy who's not going to be on the team tomorrow.
The kid wasn't just a quarterback anymore. He was suddenly a full-blown stock option, and every team wanted a piece. The Baltimore Ravens practically had his name carved on a jersey during draft week. You could almost hear them humming lullabies about Lamar Jackson and Shedeur creating the most confusing quarterback room in history.
Coach Prime and Shedeur has the same effect in their respective leagues. Coach Prime has brought in over $280 million in year 1. Year 3 is sold out. But you have people willing to burn all of that down, just like you see people willing to burn down Cleveland by benching Shedeur, willing to hold back progress in the NFL, benching Shedeur.
Imagine the chaos: 2 dynamic quarterbacks, 1 playbook, and a fan base that wouldn't know who to buy jerseys for. The Ravens were ready to toss him the keys to the castle, maybe even build a moat around M&T Bank Stadium just to keep other teams from stealing him. But Shedeur? Nah. He wasn't feeling it. He looked at Baltimore, smiled politely, and basically said, "Cute city, nice crab cakes, but I'll pass." It wasn't about disrespect, it was about fit.
All the things, I don't believe, there's no conspiracies, there's no blackballing. That was so stupid. I will never understand that in a million years, why you would take him out in that's you just drafted him. You don't want to see him get those reps and see what he can do, see if he can overcome the bad play, see if he can get out of his head and go out there and lead a drive, have a short memory. Instead, you put him on the bench and let Snoop Huntley go 1 of 1 for 7 yards. What did we learn? What did we learn about anything? We learned nothing. The only thing we learned is that our backup...
The Ravens wanted him in purple, but Shedeur was more interested in writing his own script, not becoming an understudy in someone else's Shakespearean drama. It's like being asked to join a boy band when you've already got a solo album cooking. And here's the kicker: his refusal didn't tank his value, it doubled it. Suddenly the NFL grapevine was buzzing louder than a high school cafeteria on pizza day. Teams that weren't even quarterback hungry started whispering, just to be part of the Shedeur sweepstakes. The Jets? Oh, they perked up like someone had promised them a quarterback who could actually throw to his own teammates. The Raiders? They started salivating, dreaming of Shedeur tossing bombs in the Vegas lights, maybe even doubling as a blackjack dealer in the offseason. Even the Cowboys, who already think they own the rights to every flashy player in America, started daydreaming about him. Jerry Jones probably sat in his yacht, sipping whatever billionaires sip, imagining Shedeur bringing them back to the glory days of the 90s. Because nothing screams Cowboys quite like ignoring logic and going for the splashiest move possible. But what really made this story spicy was the way Shedeur handled it. Most rookies would be begging for an NFL team to even call their name. They'd be polishing helmets just to stand on the sideline.
Book. I just watched what happened to Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns' third and final preseason game. And I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski.
Not Shedeur. He played it like a chess master, staring down teams like they were pawns while he was already thinking 4 moves ahead. He wasn't desperate to wear any jersey, he was waiting for the right jersey, the right team, the right spotlight. And that's when the league started to realize this wasn't your average quarterback story. This wasn't a kid grateful to just be in the league. This was a Sanders, raised by Dion, trained with cameras, lights, and expectations in his face since day one. Shedeur wasn't entering the NFL as a rookie, he was entering as a brand. You don't just draft him, you negotiate with a future empire. Meanwhile, back in Cleveland, Haslam's benching decision was aging like spoiled milk. Imagine him watching the news cycle, every team wants Shedeur Sanders. Splashed across ESPN, Fox, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. And there he is, the guy who thought parking Shedeur on the bench would make him look like a genius. Instead, he looks like the guy who bought Bitcoin at $60,000 and sold at $15,000 because he got nervous. The Ravens, of course, couldn't stop sighing. They had the chance, they had the draft pick, they had the setup. But Shedeur saying no hit them harder than a Ray Lewis tackle. They were left at the altar, holding a diamond ring, while Shedeur skipped down the street like a groom who realized he could do better.
And I told you guys that was going to happen. Now, I don't know if some of these things are just slander on the Browns, but one thing for sure, we do know people's attention spans weren't there. Now, I watched the total amounts of game. I tried to watch it with you guys, and YouTube removed the video. Shout out to YouTube for not striking me. You know, I'm always going to take a gamble for you guys. So before I break this story either more, I need my damn theme song because it's about to be a wild one with receipts.
I've been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. It's best up on
So watching this, you know, I had to be fair before we continued going in. So before I go in and show the receipts and all that, I just want to tell you guys, listen, the Cleveland Brown fans are one of the most strongest supporters of all. That's why I'm skeptic about the ticket sales being down. Now, are people watching the games and then turning it off? I believe that part 100%. They're turning it off when they realize Shedeur is not going to play. But to say ticket sales are down, look, listen to me, man. I don't know if that's 100% true because Brown fans, y'all been loyal for decades. I'm talking about decades. Rain, snow, losing seasons after seasons, it doesn't matter. Browns fans have always showed up and showed out when it comes to sporting.
And the fans? Oh, they loved it. Social media lit up like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Memes started rolling in, Shedeur photoshopped in every team's jersey, Shedeur with sunglasses blocking Baltimore, Shedeur with dollar signs raining down on him like he was the main event in Vegas. The narrative wasn't just about where he would go, it was about how he was already bigger than wherever he landed. Of course, this kind of hype is dangerous. The NFL is full of teams that think they're just one quarterback away from the promised land, when really they're one bad draft pick away from the unemployment line. And Shedeur? He knew it. He knew the league was circling like sharks, each franchise convinced they were the perfect fit, while he stood there like a prize fighter, waiting to pick his opponent. But that Baltimore situation is still the funniest part of the saga. They wanted him, they courted him, they imagined him in the black and purple, but he wasn't having it. He wasn't about to be a sidekick in Lamar City. Because Shedeur knows one thing, stars don't share spotlights, they create their own. And that's why other franchises, from Vegas to New York, were lining up like teenagers outside a sneaker drop, praying they'd get lucky before the supply ran out.
Escaped right, threw a really nice ball up the boundary to somebody named Sal Cannella. I don't know Sal Cannella. I had to look him up. Played, this is his fourth NFL team, bounced around minor league football. Undrafted free agent back in whatever it was, 2020, and unsigned as an undrafted free agent. Nobody signed him. He's not even listed on the Cleveland Browns depth chart at tight end. There are 4 listed right now on the ESPN.com depth chart, and he's not even listed. So he's at best the 5th tight end on this squad.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Haslam's karma kept snowballing. Every headline about Shedeur's stock rising made his benching decision look dumber by the hour. He tried to flex his authority, but all he did was launch the Sanders hype machine into overdrive. The guy tried to make Shedeur small, and instead, he made him bigger than life. Instant karma, wrapped in a jersey, with a stadium-sized laugh track playing in the background. Because here's the truth, when an owner benches a quarterback, it's supposed to send a message. But when the quarterback you bench turns into the most wanted man in the NFL, the only message anyone hears is that you made the worst business call since New Coke. And Jimmy Haslam, billionaire extraordinaire, is now the face of that colossal misfire. Shedeur, on the other hand, is cruising. He's got teams chasing him, fanbases begging for him, and a brand growing faster than any rookie contract could cover. He turned down Baltimore, shrugged off the noise, and reminded the league that he's not here to play supporting roles. He's here to headline, and he'll pick the stage when he's good and ready. And that's the beauty of the whole mess. While owners plot, coaches beg, and fans pray, Shedeur sits back with the calm confidence of a man who knows the league needs him more than he needs the league.
So, for everyone thinking that it was a conspiracy against Shedeur, I'm here to tell you shocking details has emerged from an NFL legend about what was being said about Shedeur during that damn draft. Guys, for this one here, not expecting this news to come out. This is a major development in the 2025 draft, because if this is for real, if this is credible, and I truly believe Eric Dickerson is a very much credible source, if this is for real and there was a conspiracy against Shedeur Sanders for teams not to draft him, it is going to be hell on earth. I mean, the Sanders family is about to have a lawsuit of a life.
Which, of course, is the ultimate twist of instant karma for Jimmy Haslam, the man who tried to control the story, only to become a footnote in Shedeur Sanders' rise to NFL stardom. The story only gets juicier from here, because the Cleveland Browns somehow managed to fumble not just a play, not just a season, but potentially their entire future. After treating Shedeur Sanders like a glorified waterboy and leaving him to rot on the bench, the team now faces the nightmare scenario. The Cincinnati Bengals, their division rivals, might swoop in and make him QB1. Imagine that, a quarterback you benched out of pettiness suddenly leading your biggest rival to glory while you're stuck polishing your almost made-it banners. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati's golden boy, is the kind of quarterback you'd build statues of if he weren't currently made of glass. Every time he takes a hit, Bengals fans collectively hold their breath like they're watching a Jenga tower wobble. And now, with yet another injury clouding Burrow's future, Cincinnati is quietly scanning the horizon for the next man up. And wouldn't you know it? There's Shedeur, sitting there like a shiny sports car parked in the wrong driveway, just waiting for the right owner to grab the keys. This isn't just a possible move, it's the kind of twist that could reshape the entire AFC North. Because the Bengals aren't just any random franchise, they're the Browns' closest neighbors, their bitter rivals, their annoying little brother who suddenly grew taller, got better grades, and stole their prom date.
Rumors are flying that Shedeur Sanders could be on the move to the Cincinnati Bengals. Imagine with Joe Burrow out, Shedeur Sanders can finally get a chance to start. Trade rumors are getting some real traction with all these quarterbacks getting injured. But the main particular one, the Cincinnati Bengals, after Joe Burrow done injured his toe and being out for at least 3 months, it could be a real possibility. Hey, Money Man, so what could that trade look like? Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow has a toe injury that would keep him out at least 3 months. It is yet another unfortunate injury setback for one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Without Burrow, the Bengals would likely struggle.
If Shedeur slides into Cincinnati, it's not just a transfer, it's a betrayal wrapped in fireworks. Browns fans would have to watch, week after week, as the quarterback they benched out of. Arrogance becomes the face of their rival's resurgence. Every touchdown would be a reminder that their owner tried to flex on him and instead handed their enemies the weapon. Browns fans wouldn't just boo, they'd cry into their dog-pound masks, wondering how they ended up as the punchline of their own rivalry. And the irony is off the charts. Cleveland had the chance to make Shedeur their guy, to give him the keys and let him grow into the role. Instead, they treated him like a disposable backup, as if quarterbacks who can electrify stadiums grow on trees. Now they might lose him to a team that not only values him but actually needs him. Cincinnati has every incentive to go all in: Burrow's health issues, the weapons on offense, the urgency to stay competitive in a brutal division. And if Shedeur is the one to fill that gap, it's game over for Cleveland's illusions of control.
So now it sounds like the Cleveland Browns are going to all but imprison Shedeur Sanders in the football sense of a very talented rookie quarterback who obviously needs reps, needs an opportunity, and who now, barring some miraculous luck, will not get the opportunity to play in a single real game. I'm sure many around the NFL are celebrating as we speak.
This would be the ultimate karma for Jimmy Haslam. The man benched Shedeur like it was some kind of power play, a reminder of who signs the checks. But if that benching pushes Shedeur straight into the arms of the Bengals, Haslam won't just look foolish, he'll look like the NFL's biggest unintentional matchmaker. Imagine giving your ex the phone number of the person they eventually marry, then being forced to sit in the front row at their wedding. That's what this would feel like for Cleveland. He's young, he's marketable, he's got that Sanders swagger, and he's been sitting on untapped potential thanks to Cleveland's decision-making that ranks somewhere between burning money and setting your own house on fire. Cleveland, on the other hand, would instantly become the league's cautionary tale. It's one thing to draft badly or sign the wrong free agent. Sports documentaries would be drooling. ESPN would be writing scripts for 30 for 30 before Shedeur even takes his first snap as a Bengal.
Obviously, Joe Burrow has a turf toe injury that will require surgery. He will be sidelined for a minimum of 3 months. Typically, this is a 12 to 14-week recovery period from an injury like that. That would mean that if it was best case, the soonest he could be ready, as much as he might push, would be December 15th, and it very well could be into the new year before he's ready again. Let's see if the Bengals and Jake Browning, their new quarterback, can keep them afloat until then. But Joe Burrow went down.
But here's where it gets even funnier. Imagine the narrative spin from Brown's leadership. They'd probably try to sell it as just business or part of the process, as if losing Shedeur to the Bengals was part of some grand master plan. The press conferences would be comedy specials. Coaches would mumble about next man up while fans throw dog bones at the stage. And Haslam? He'd sit there looking like a man who accidentally traded his Ferrari for a tricycle. And Browns fans, trapped in their misery, would have no choice but to watch the show unfold 2 times a year, every year. And that's the beauty of this entire mess, the sheer theater of it all. Football isn't just about X's and O's, it's about drama, betrayal, revenge arcs. The AFC North would turn into must-watch television, with every Browns-Bengals matchup carrying the weight of a soap opera finale. Because let's be honest, Shedeur's potential was never really in question. The kid can throw, he can move, and he has the kind of confidence that can sell jerseys by the truckload.